everyone, this is Mrs. Stevens, and I am going to take you through the tasks for today because I am out. Today is Tuesday, November 9th, so log into Schoology, go into the Tuesday, November 9th folder. Your warm-up today is tell a story, so just take the first 10 minutes or so of class. Your sub will set a timer for you to free write in your binders. You will not have an opportunity to share today because I am not there, but you are just free writing for your warm-up. For task 2, your sub will hand out your CAMS annotation strategies. These will go into the study section of your binder. We will use these strategies when reading the article for today. CAMS stands for the following annotation strategies. We're going to circle unfamiliar words. We're going to add synonyms to clarify meaning. We're going to make connections, and we are going to stop and jot in the margins. That's what CAMS stands for. So while we read the article for today, we are going to use the CAMS strategies. Task 3, we're going to read and annotate the French Revolution article. The directions is we're going to put this in the study section of our binders. So you will get a handout for this. I'm just going to put mine into Notability. And like we talked about yesterday, Unit 3 is about cross-genre text. We will be reading text from different genres. This is a nonfiction genre article. That's why it's about a real event, the French Revolution. So we are going to use our CAMS strategies to read and annotate this article. So I'm going to put this in Notability for myself too. All right, so I have my article. I'm just going to have my CAMS strategies on this side. Drag over so that I know what to annotate as I am reading. So, the French Revolution. What was the French Revolution? The French Revolution lasted from 1789 to 1799. And it was a period of time in France when the people overthrew the monarchy and took control of the government. So I'm going to highlight that it took place from this time. And when people overthrew the monarchy and took control over the government. So it says to circle unfamiliar words. I'm going to look up a synonym of overthrew. I can just do that to the side here, overthrew. Overthrew means to topple, upend, cause the fall or end of. So I'm going to put defeat, bring down. Monarchy, what does monarchy mean? So this is like king, queen, when you have like a leader, like a king and queen of your government. So after circling my unfamiliar words, I added synonyms to clarify meaning. I'm adding notes in the margins. So I know that the French Revolution lasted from this time, and it was a time in France, when people overthrew the monarchy, so they defeated and brought down the king or queen and took control of the government. Taxes and the people. Before the revolution began, France was in trouble. King Louis the 16th had taken out huge loans to help the American colonists defeat England in a revolution of their own. This spending left France bankrupt. To fix this problem, the king raised taxes on its citizens. In addition, French citizens were struggling with other problems as well, including drought, famine due to lack of crops, and rising food prices. These struggles left the French citizens desperate and angry. Okay, so this king had to take out huge loans And that was to help the American colonists. So because they had to take out huge loans, they are bankrupt. So bankrupt means they have no money. To fix this problem, they raised taxes on the citizens. Okay, a connection. I am thinking of like in America today, they are thinking of raising taxes on us to pay for some of the debt that America has, because America is in debt as well. So not only are the taxes raised on citizens, French citizens were also struggling with drought, famine, lack of crops, raising food prices. So a drought means there's no water. And then there's a famine. That means there's no food. There's no food because there was no crops, and food prices were rising. So citizens in France were desperate and angry. So you can kind of see how my CAM strategies here are just helping me to annotate and better comprehend what is happening in this article. New ideas inspire the people. In the 1700s, the culture in Europe began to change. The era of Enlightenment presented new ideas such as liberty and equality. Notable philosophers John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau argued that the government has a responsibility to take care of its citizens. Government has a responsibility to take care of its citizens. These ideas spread across Europe and inspired the French people to fight for equal rights, and a say in how their government was run. Okay, so liberty is like freedom. So this is talking about, so the French citizens were influenced. They wanted freedom. They wanted equality. They thought the government had to take care of its citizens. That kind of reminds me once again of America, and how some people think that the American government should be taking care of its citizens more. People fighting for equal rights, that's also a connection I can make with like our current politics in our society. Great. Revolutionary government. At the start of the revolution, representatives from the Third Estate, which included the poorest citizens of France, took control of the country and established the National Assembly. They demanded that King Louis XVI give them certain rights. This group soon took control of the country and ruled until Napoleon took control. Okay, so this Third Estate, which is like the poorest citizens, took control of the country. All right, so this is all part of the revolution. So the poorest citizens took over the country after demanding the king to give them rights, and they ruled until Napoleon took control. Outcome. The revolution came to an end in 1799 when a general named Napoleon overthrew the revolutionary government and established a dictatorship with himself as a leader. So a dictatorship, what does that mean? Let's find a... So it's a government where you have one leader with complete control. So Napoleon had complete control over France because he defeated the revolution. This was the revolution up here. So the poor citizens that took over, then Napoleon came, defeated the revolution, established his dictatorship. The French Revolution completely changed the social and political structure of France. It put an end to the French monarchy, feudalism, and took political power away from the Catholic Church. Okay, so what is feudalism? So this has to do with like nobility. So I guess it's like, think of how certain areas of the government were ruled by nobles while peasants were like the lower class. So he got rid of monarchy, nobility, and took political power away from the Catholic Church. It brought new ideas to Europe, including liberty and freedom for the commoner, as well as the abolishment of slavery and the rights of women. So abolishment, to abolish is to get rid of. Okay, and we know already that liberty means freedom. So those are kind of synonymous. So even though Napoleon was a dictator, he did bring in new ideas that were that had a positive effect on the French citizens, because they started to think that they could be equal. The commoners did. He got rid of slavery, and he increased the rights of women during that time in France. Although the revolution ended with the rise of Napoleon, the ideas and reforms did not die. These new ideas continue to influence Europe and help shape many of Europe's modern-day governments. All right, you should have your article completely annotated like me. Maybe you made your own connections, but when we annotate using the CAM strategy, I should see you circling, you're adding synonyms for those words you don't know, you're making those connections, and you're stopping and jotting and writing in the margins or the spaces in between, okay? Keep this in the study section of our binder because you will need it for an upcoming performance task grade. Let's go back to Schoology. The last thing you're going to do today is you're going to sign up for a reading part for our drama that we're reading on Wednesday and Thursday. So if you click on task 4, you'll be taken to a Google form. Make sure you are logged into your Coppell ISD account. Say what teacher you have. You should put me. What class period are you in? You're either in, oops, I need to add 6th period on here. So you'll say what class period you're in. Write down your name. State if you would like a reading part for the necklace read aloud. Would you like a bigger part or a smaller part? Bigger parts are for kids who love reading out loud. They don't mind having a lot of speaking parts. Smaller parts are for kids that still want to read out loud, but maybe they don't want to read a lot. So the necklace is a drama in play, so we'll have different characters we'll be playing. If you put that you want a bigger part, I will probably give you a bigger speaking role. If you put your smaller part, maybe you only have 1 or 2 lines in the whole play, okay? If you don't want to read at all, as in you don't want to volunteer to be a character, you don't have to fill this out. These are for the kids that want to sign up for a reading part, and then hit submit when you are done. And that is all for today. If you are finished with everything, use this time to make up missing work. If you are one of the students that didn't finish their personal narratives, this would be a good time to do that. And you may also read quietly, or you may write or work on classwork for other classes. If you have any questions, please send me an email or ask your sub, and have a great day.